Very, very kind of you to take the trouble to come in and see us, Miss Lane. Oh, yes, I'm sure you'll be hearing from us sometime in the very near future.
Good day, Miss Lane. Yes, so exhilarating to meet you.
The guard will call your car, Miss Lane.
Oh, God. Jesus, Buddha, Yahweh, oh, any God.
I would have gotten her out quicker, but I was afraid I kept her veils in the door.
She played opposite Clark Gable, William Powell, and Spencer Tracy.
Well, maybe that was mourning she was wearing.
Oh.
You all right?
All right? Why shouldn't I be all right? I wanted to be a producer, didn't I? Artistic autonomy, power to hire and fire, make and break, independent decisions.
Yeah, you wanted that.
Was I or was I not willing to make Halloween horror pictures and motorcycle massacre flicks in order to reach the point where I could make good, tough, courageous, artistically satisfying dramas once a decade?
You were. I distinctly remember you were.
Did I or did I not commission this? A profoundly original exploration of one woman's odyssey towards human dignity and self-respect. Answer me that.
You did. I was there.
Damn it. If I killed you, there wouldn't be any witnesses and I could get out of it to make another drive-in doozy.
Yeah, but unfortunately, you have announced it to the trades, and all Hollywood is agog.
Not all Hollywood. Just 15 million middle-aged actresses who smell paychecks.
Well, the way this process is aging you, you may be able to play it yourself.
I am never going to act again, goddammit.
Why not?
Because I hated having to audition.
Right.
For indifferent, unfeeling, idiot producers.
Oh, well, it will get to you if you let it.
If there was one, just one of them that was remotely like a human being.
Oh, well, I mean, they have 2 eyes, ears, a nose.
They all had the same nose. Have you realized that? In the old studio days, they gave them all the same nose.
You want a drink?
No. There's one thing I'm not going to let this ordeal turn me into as an alcoholic.
That last one was reeling.
Well, why shouldn't she be? She was top box office for 2 years straight in the 40s. And now she's down here smiling and twinkling and dimpling at a woman half her age.
I sure do. Carry on.
Oh, I know. It's so sad. Their whole generation, all they were taught to do was how to please men on screen and off. Their entire acting training consisted of how to smile, wink, flutter, smolder, and make every man that saw them think she was coming on to him.
Sigh. Those were the good old days.
Stop it! I hated how they come in all powdered and perfumed with their eyelids at half-mast. And then when they see that Blake Carstairs is a woman, they visibly strip a gear. They don't know how to seduce a roll out of a woman. And seduction was all they were trained to do.
Well, and to do it well.
No wonder they turned to drink and dope.
Oh, you want some dope?
No! I'm not going to be like that. I'm going to make it on my own terms, with no one telling me what I can do or what I have to be.
I thought you weren't going to act anymore.
Gee, Max, what would I do without you? And make it good.
Ready to see the next one now?
Wait, one cigarette more. In case you haven't noticed, I'm finding this exceptionally difficult.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's hard to see all them women trying to, hold on to their youth.
It's not just that. So many of them were great stars, great beauties, images and idols. And some of them great actresses, too. And then the lines start radiating around the eyes, and the chin and the figure get fuller, and suddenly there are no more leading roles.
Well, there's always the stage.
Mm-hmm. Yes. They go to the stage where distance lends the illusion of youth, and they play reprises of their old film roles for a time. And then that passes to the next stage, or stages. The dinner theaters, the stock theaters, Las Vegas if they can sing, Atlantic City if they can't, or anywhere where anyone will pay to see a former movie star. And once they wrestle and they race with each other for mother roles in movies, the grandmother roles on TV, and once in 12 years, there's a role like this one, Matilda. A big, fat, Oscar category role for a middle-aged woman.
But we can't afford Liz Taylor or Annie Bancroft.
Right. Right. So here I am, interviewing women I was in awe of as a girl. Women I was too afraid to ask for their autographs. Women whose faces once raised fortunes, whose names were magic formulas, until the faces fell and the names became bad jokes.
Yeah, well, there's one other one waiting outside.
Which one is it this time?
Hold on to your lapels. Luna McAlpin.
Oh, my God. The goddess of the penthouses. The lady with the pink cocktail. What will she have become?
I don't know. But I bet she came by bus. I'll show her in.
Max, be very gentle. They treat them very well at the old studios.
Sure. I'll lie down for her like a red carpet. Right this way, Miss McAlpin. Ms. Carstairs is anxious to see you.
Ms. McAlpin, so very good and kind of you to come and see me today. Ms. Carstairs, Blake Carstairs. I had the privilege of being second assistant script girl on your film, The Twist of Manhattan. Carstairs. Won't you sit down, Max?
Oh, sure.
Thank you. Max, perhaps Ms. McAlpin would like some refreshment. Ms. McAlpin, some coffee? A drink?
Oh, no, thank you, nothing. I don't drink.
Very well. You may go, Max.
Okay. It was a pleasure to meet you, Miss McAlpin.
That will be all, Max.
Perhaps a cup of tea.
Oh, certainly.
Oh, no, don't bother.
It's no trouble.
No, please.
I insist.
No. Please.
Whatever you say, of course. I cannot tell you how flattered I am you've chosen to visit us. I'm a great fan of yours. Of course, you understand how very time-consuming production is today, with all of us fighting for survival.
Yes,
so I only...
it's a very different industry today.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh, you'll forgive me if I'm woefully out of touch with everything but my own little narrow interests here at the studios.
You want to know what I've been doing lately?
I'd be fascinated.
I have been relatively inactive lately, in film.
Yes. Well, the sort of thing we do tend to make nowadays is not necessarily the sort of thing one takes an interest in, is it?
I last played the wife of an ambassador in a miniseries on ABC.
Yes, I did see that. I remember you were in the cast. Oh, you were stunningly gowned.
There was relatively little else to do.
Well, certainly no one else could have done it better.
My recent work has largely been on stage.
I haven't been privileged to see it.
Ms.
Carstairs.
Yes, I know. I was going to say, would you mind sitting down?
Why, of course. Thank you. I wonder what roles you've been doing lately.
I did Medea.
Medea?
At a university in Santa Barbara.
Really?
It was very well received.
I'm sure.
And before that, I ran a new play in Chicago for a year.
A year?
It is the second play I have run in that town for that length of time.
Amazing.
I have developed a following in certain cities.
Superb.
But unfortunately, there is only one city that matters theatrically in this country, New York. So you have not necessarily heard about me on the stage.
Well, I'm certain that's my fault and my loss.
I was once offered to step into a Broadway role after the star who opened it and the star who followed her had left, but I did not want to open in New York in a role that had already been reviewed.
I can certainly understand that that might not be a career move one might want to take.
It is not necessarily well known that I trained as a stage actress in my youth.
That's true. I don't recall ever hearing that.
I was swept into film the first time someone saw me on the stage.
You must have been very young.
I was. Much younger than generally thought, that's true. When I made Penthouse Lady, I was, in fact, 15.
I never knew that.
They had to pad my dresses, even the arms of them, to give me a woman's figure.
I recall that film vividly. You look surprisingly mature.
I was very young and did what I was told.
You must write a book. You must.
I had been approached about a book. I had decided not to accept the proposal. It seemed they required a more vulgar approach to the subject of my life than I was willing or eager to take.
I can certainly understand that.
But in recent years, I have been able to begin to reestablish myself as an actress, in the sense that I began so many years ago.
Well, that certainly shows great courage.
But I am not uninterested in returning to the screen, if it is a project I can believe in.
Well, with tenacity such as yours, I'm sure it's only a matter of time. What do you plan on doing next?
Next? There are other offers.
I do hope you make it a point of letting me know when you're next appearing. I promise you, I will put everything aside and fly to see you no matter how far away. Is there a chance of you appearing in Los Angeles in the near future?
The play I ran in Chicago is due to come to Los Angeles, to the Huntington Harbor.
Well, then,
But Barbara Rush has been signed for the role I played. She is a fine actress. She has maintained a following here through much hard work and many fine performances. She will be outstanding in the role.
I have so many heartbreaks in this business.
Ms. Carstairs,
Yes, Miss McAlpin?
you have, somewhere in the course of this interview, decided against me for the role you are casting in this film.
Well, actually, today I'm only meeting
My
people.
manner and the comparative obscurity into which I have fallen have put you off.
Oh, in no way. You're
You
just...
must understand.
I understand completely,
Please,
and I...
do me the courtesy to hear me.
Certainly.
It is very difficult to know what is wanted of one. I was raised in a studio where only one thing was expected of me. I was released from that environment at an age when most people are settled in their lives. I found myself without the comforting shelter of the studio that had raised me, or the presence of a mother who sheltered me even from the realities of that studio. I knew only one thing, that I did not intend to imitate the self-degradation that I saw others like myself practicing. I withheld myself and examined my values, and after a very long time began to re-emerge on my own terms. It has not been easy, and there have been discouragements. If I seem tentative, it is because I am not sure what is expected of me.
Oh, my dear Miss McAlpin, nothing more is expected of you, and you can be sure you've made a beautiful impression. You understand that today we're seldom allowed to proceed with any project of any seriousness or depth, that when we do get them, we're especially careful with them. Any little error in a small, serious picture can jeopardize our chances of ever doing another. And unless we can continue to squeeze in a small, serious picture, the American film will be reduced to nothing but hardware and horrors and manipulative cinematic roller coasters. Naturally, every stage of such a production is handled with extreme caution, so I have
So you
to...
have decided against me?
No, you mustn't think that. It's just that I...
Well, then may I see a script of the film?
The script is not actually available at the present.
Will I at least be allowed to read for the role?
Ms. McAlpin, an artist of your stature wouldn't be expected to audition.
But I understand, of course, that you cannot be acquainted with my more recent work.
But I will catch all of it in the near future.
But I would be more than willing to show
Ms.
you.
McAlpin, the role of Matilda is not one that can use your beauty, your grace, your dignity, all those qualities which you possess in such abundance. Now that we have met, I will be sure to keep you in mind for any role that can be filled by a woman of your obvious charm and sophistication.
Matilda, what is she like?
She is a slattern, a failure, a neurotic. Max, will you please see Ms. McAlpin personally to her car, or have one of our drivers take her wherever she cares to go?
A studio limo?
Yes, Max.
You know that they don't...
Max, a studio limo and on the double.
Sure thing, Miss Carstairs.
A slattern, a failure, a neurotic.
Yes, not at all your sort of thing. I can see how selective you've been, and I wouldn't want to waste your time.
Thank you, Miss Miss Carstairs. I just want to say, if I may, that your respect and admiration are obvious and apparent. Seldom in such a situation have I been treated with more dignity and courtesy.
Why, thank you, Miss McAlpin. I take that as a compliment in itself. I do hope we will work together in the near future.
Yes, I sincerely hope so. You pandering, thoughtless conglomerate cog. You low, slimy, mindless, anxiety-ridden you. How do you dare sit there behind your buttons and pass judgment on me? Why, I made millions for this factory while you were still a second assistant coffee girl. You... What do you know about what goes on in a human soul, you slimy, climbing the ladder, oozing and oiling and flattering? What do you know about any depth of human feeling, any height of the artist's skill? Can you thrill and move millions by the power of your imagination? Can you hold thousands in your hand and lift them up or compress them into agony by the sheer authority of your voice and body? What do you know, huh? What do you know?
Miss McAlpin!
Get back! Get back from me! I ought to lay you low. I ought to flatten you one. Get me in here so you can ogle your old idol and maybe check her out and see if she's got wrinkles or bags. Save up some stories about the old broad that still tries to come on like a glamour chick. Have a few laughs with all the buddies about how all the big stars you used to have to go for are crawling back to you begging for a few days' work. What the hell do you know about work? What the hell would any of you know about what it took to make glamour? Yes, and spectacle, and the movies that molded the minds of generations. And what do you care when the artists that you made your way on get tossed on the junk heap? And don't you all laugh behind all your tisky when they show up drunks, or junkies, or religious nuts, or scrabble around in pest holes, still trying to sell the same old tired act to the room? You all ought to be crucified. That's what you ought to be. Nailed to crosses and dragged through the same gutter you'd like to drag us through when you have worn us out, burned us up, used us up, burned us up, and thrown us away! My God! What kind of world is it where the office boys and the water boys and the girls with their clipboards think they can climb up on their high horses and deal out favors to the kings and the queens that made this Hollywood for them? Yes, made it. And then had to watch it get taken over by sluts and saps. Don't even know what to do with it till it is taken away from even them by a lot of whores and hoodlums who don't care what kind of hamburger they make on the American line just so they drag in another bloody nickel, yes, and never even think about the fact that they have got to live in the same world with people they are turning into robots and brainless animals. You make garbage out of people, you have got to live with garbage. There is nothing truer. God. What's it come to? You don't know and you don't care what's happening. Happening to the country, happening to the world, because you lack imagination.
Max, call a doctor.
Imagination, yes. You wouldn't know it if you saw it. That's why you and all your kind can only sit and rerun and regurgitate pale, trumped-up imitations of the grandeur of the past. If it was standing right in front of you, imagination, artistry, invention, brilliance, greatness, you'd be afraid of it. It would terrify you to the bone. With no minds, no visions, no terrifying leaps into what is not and what can be, you can only sit frightened and fiddling with your memories. What the fuck? What's it all about? Why should I care? Why even try?
Miss McAlpin! Miss McAlpin, can you hear me?
And now, Miss Carstairs, do you think I could see a script?
Max, will you please get Miss McAlpin a cup of tea?